Hi guys, and welcome back to Crypto News today. So I just thought I'd do a wee video, a wee short one today, just in an update on the prices and see where we're at. So Bitcoin seems to be still sitting around about the 50,000, which is pretty good. I knew when it dropped down to that 42 and it was coming back up that 50 would be quite a tough resistance to go through, as it's been in the past. Always seems to it does always seem to repeat itself when it's going up and down through these levels, and that is always a good place to opportunity if you were buying dips or dollar cost averaging in. You want to look at these support and resistance levels, because if it's done that in the past, it will do it again. So if it breaks down through 50, it'll look for the next support line down, and you could take these from Fibonacci levels, moving averages. There's all sorts of ways you can actually look at this on technical analysis. But when it dropped down there, and I thought it's not going to go down usually below 40. I mean, 40, the psychological level at these round numbers, 40 and 50,000. But because it had already retraced down maybe 30-40%, typically it's going to find support at some point, usually round about that kind of psychological bit. So when it dropped down from 50, we kind of knew it wasn't really going to go really far down, because of the buying orders. As you're going down, there's going to be more and more buying orders, because everybody is still bullish on this. We're still really early. I know Bitcoin's been around for a few years now, but we're getting more adoption, which is brilliant. More on the news, more mainstream, more media's attention. Even if it's bad news, it's still news. It's still putting it out there. So I'm very much bullish on these projects. I personally myself, though, have not been buying Bitcoin in the last wee while. I've been looking at some of these other ones, the kind of lower cap ones where you can maybe get more money. Basically, you're going to get more for your money and more gains potentially, but higher risk. So I've been taking some money out of Bitcoin and putting it into some of these lower ones. I mean, some of these prices are really, really good just now, where like you imagine where Cardano was at $3.20 just a few months ago. It's an absolute bargain just now, and the fundamentals are still there. It's just you might have some negative news, like with the coronavirus, or something's happening in the world, like that Evergrande. There's so much bad news just now around finance, around markets, the stock market, the traditional markets. There's a lot of bad news, and everything seems to get pulled down together. It doesn't mean it's a bad project or crypto's a scam or whatever. It's absolutely not. Look at the market cap here. It's absolutely amazing. When I get into this Bitcoin was only about 100-200 billion. And when I got into crypto, there was only Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Chainlink. That was it. And you could only buy it through Coinbase. Look at the amount of options you've got now with farming, staking, and launch pads, and this metaverse, and NFTs, and DeFi, and it's just I just love it. Absolutely love it. So so some of the things I've been picking up recently. Polygon, I think a lot of the stuff's going on to Polygon. This is going to be really good. I think this in the future, the market cap of this could easily get to what Ethereum is just now, in my opinion. CRO, I've added to my bag of my holding of CRO. I think that's very good, and if you can get yourself one of these cards, you can get cash back on purchases, and free Netflix, Spotify. You can get air mileage. I just think that it's really good. And this Cast app that's coming out as well is going to be another good one. It's really better than holding it in your traditional banks. Nexo as well is another one. I hold money in Nexo as well, and you're getting your interest 12% on fiat currency. So it's another good one. Even if you're not wanting to be a trader, or you're not wanting to spend put too much into crypto just now, keep it in these exchanges like Nexo and Binance, and you'll get interest anyway. Just leave it sitting there. Axie Infinity, that's done tremendously this year. So is Elron, but this is a bargain just now. It was up at $600 recently, so you're getting at half price. Cosmos, Again, these are amazing projects. You Phantom, Loop Ring, and then not to mention these metaverse projects. They're absolutely going through the roof just now. I missed out on this one. I was watching this around about the 50 cent mark, and I kind of missed out on this. I actually didn't think it would take off as much as it did. It's just done tremendously. So I'm now more heavily invested in metaverse projects like your Hero and such like. I just think this is going to do so well, and if you can get into the ICOs and buy stuff through like Seedify or Pancake Swap, try and look for the next best thing. I just think that there's huge potential to be made here. I mean, look at the amount of projects that's on Metaverse now, and they're coming out. They seem to be every other day now. There's some coming out. Yes, we've got some red days, but I mean, it's going to happen, guys. You're not going to get green days every single day. You're going to get some retracements, and that's the point where to get into these. Now, you could sit and read through every one of these white papers and through the websites and who the developers are, and it's just absolute minefield unless you're really clued up on all this stuff. It's really hard. But if you watch a lot of the YouTubers, the big ones, they are right on top of this. They speak directly with these projects and developers, and they know the good ones to look out for. And that's just the name of the game. You're just trying to get in there before the masses. If you can get in there at relatively cheap prices, even now, I would say, I mean, all this is new. About 2 months ago, before Facebook, before Mark Zuckerberg, before he mentioned about changing the name of Facebook to Meta for metaverse and virtual reality, this wasn't really a big thing. You know, this is very much still early, very very early. There's not a lot of people who still know about these metaverse projects, and I just think it's just so exciting. It's really exciting time. So, but yeah, I just think just keep an eye on this. I would say, you know, if there's anything you're interested in any one of these, just follow them on Twitter, but just be mindful of scams. There's just so much scams in the Telegram groups and the Facebook groups and the Twitter groups. There's just so much of this. So you've just got to watch what you're doing. But apart from that, if you can get in there and watch the right projects, and you get into some of the ICOs or the launch pads or staking pools or farming or any one of, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity available here. It used to be that you either just bought it and hold or traded it, but there's so many options now available to gain money. I just think it's given everyone a chance. It's just so exciting. I'm just super excited about the future of all this, and not just this. I think DeFi, you know, it's going to come back here, and we're going to see massive growth. They're predicting that the metaverse projects in the next 5 to 10 years could be worth $100 trillion on its own, just the metaverse projects. So where's the whole market going? If Bitcoin could get to the same market cap as gold, which I've got absolutely no doubt it will, it's about 11-12 trillion. So therefore, you know, you could put a 10-11x on the price of Bitcoin. I just think there's so much potential. And remember, you can dollar cost average into this. You don't need to be buying full round amounts. You know, if you wanted to buy some Satoshis, you could put $10 in, $20 in. You don't need to put a huge amount in. But yeah, just try, you know, if you can spare some money, just do something. I would say if you've been watching the groups and you've been watching this crypto for a while, you'll start to see what projects are the good ones. But even if you don't, and you don't have a clue where you're starting, even the top 20, you cannot go wrong with these. Some of them cool down for a short time, but then they'll take off again. You've got to watch with the meme coins, obviously, because that could be manipulation there. There's a lot of rich people involved in stuff like this, Dogecoin and Sheep, and I think there is some sort of, they're trying to get some sort of fundamentals with this, and they're trying to get away from the kind of stigma of a meme coin, and they're trying to do something with it, but again, it's totally at your own risk. I think the the ship has sailed on this one. I think I'd read the other day there that somebody put, I think it was about $8,000 into SHIB right at the beginning, about a year, 2 years ago maybe, and that $8,000 was worth $6 billion. I just think, how did they get in so early, and how could they have timed the market so perfectly to make that? That's like generational wealth. That's going to be in their family for a long, long time. That money, that's just, you couldn't spend that money. But again, they took the gamble and it played off. So Polygon, yeah, Polygon's that's going to do super well. Just in the next, I would say, in the next year. Yeah, you just have to look down. You know, don't go into the ones, don't FOMO into the ones that's went up super high. CRO was up like 25% yesterday. You don't want to be buying in there, because a 25% growth in one day, you know, you've got to watch. It's going to cool off. So, but have a look at the lower cap ones. Let's see, even if you go into your page 3, CoinMarketCap is brilliant for even just doing some research on these coins. Anyone you click on, it's going to show you the website, the whitelist. You can read about the project, where it's going, what the roadmap is for it. Even if it's a bit gobbledygook, you know, you could just type it in YouTube if any of your well-known YouTubers is talking about it. But you've got to sometimes be mindful about that, because they could be getting a bit of a kickback to be promoting some of these coins. But again, they've got to watch their reputation. You know, they can't just be bullish on everything and anything. So, but yeah, this Sunday swap that's come out for Cardano, that's, I think, in my opinion, that's going to be super good. I've got a decent bag of Cardano, and I've been holding it in Yori for every 5 days you get an epoch, and you get the interest, and you can then put that towards these Sunday swap tokens. So again, another thing, you've just got to keep up to date with the news on these things, and keep at it. But yeah, I mean, that's all I wanted to talk about, guys. And it's not, although we see some red days, you've just got to remember the fundamentals here are the same. You know, there might somebody have mentioned something in the news and it's dropped the price, but everything's still there. All these developers, you know, the projects are still, they're still growing, you know, arms and legs here. They're going into all sorts of different things, and it doesn't happen quickly. They've got licensing agreements, and there's so much involved in the background. Just give it time. You know, I think a lot of people seem to think that you can go into crypto and you're a millionaire in a couple of days. It's just not the case, unless you're very lucky and you've got a big chunk of money to throw at these things. If you're just like, you know, myself, and it's just a wee bit of extra money you're putting in, it just builds up. And as they say, time in the market is better than timing the market. So you just keep putting a wee bit in, plodding along, putting it in, use it as a savings account. Just open up a Binance account or a Yori account, or whatever you want to do, KuCoin. Just put in a wee bit, whatever you can afford, every week, every month, whatever, just dollar cost average. You'll never be able to buy the bottom and sell the top. It's very unlikely that will ever happen. But yeah, that's just my bit of advice there, guys. I mean, I'm no way an expert in this, but I just keep going on and keep putting a wee bit of money in, and it's, you know, hopefully you're invested in the right thing. So yeah, I think it's excellent time if you're new into this. It's the best time to be into this. It's absolutely going to fly. I mean, overall, this is going to be super good. So yeah, I hope brought some good information there, guys, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye.